Hello and welcome to iParse. In this video I'm going to be talking through how to set up your first document, a couple of prerequisites. We're assuming that you've set up the name credentials, which you should have received, and also you've assigned the right permission sets to your profile. Okay, so next we're going to jump in and create our first document template on iParse. Okay, so in this I'm just going to call this demo doc. By default, the culture will be English US. We're just going to leave it at that. And I'm just going to save. We'll go through, you can read all about all the other options here in a bit more detail in the setup guide. But for now, we just need to give it a name and click save. Okay, next I'm going to go to Tag Designer in the top right and click on Tag Designer. I'm going to upload my invoice. And what iParse will start to do is start to analyze the document that I've uploaded. So on the right hand side, you can see it's grabbed as much information as it possibly can. In this tab here, routing tags, essentially this allows us to describe what the document is. Okay, so that's the first step. So looking at this, it's an invoice that I'm receiving from a supplier. I'm going to select the supplier name. In the tag name, it'll automatically grab the value. Now I can set a tag up. I'm just going to call this supplier name, and I'm going to use that tag consistently for all the invoices that I'm going to set up. So the tag name, supplier name, and the value that I'm going to capture under that tag name is pulling through Poly Chemtex Incorporated. So I'm going to save that. I'm also going to grab the type of document that it is, so invoice. So I'll have a look for invoice. So I'm going to grab that keyword as well. And again, the tag name, I can name the tag name what I want. So I'll call it document type. So easy. Document type. Okay. And with routing tags, you want to kind of select at least 2 to 3, potentially 4 tags that really kind of define what this document is, and also, you know, the supplier, for example, who it is. So iParse can essentially identify what document it's looking at. If you can imagine, you might have potentially 20, 30, 40, 50 different types of documents coming into iParse. It needs a way to recognize, okay, this is an invoice from Poly Chemtex. And so that's why the routing tags are so important. So once you've set your routing tags up, you can click on test document. And what test document does, it basically runs iParse. It simulates iParse grabbing and recognizing this document. Okay, so what it should do, it should show, okay, yes, I've recognized these routing tags. It's all good. There's no conflict with any other documents that we've set up previously. Okay, so if we move on to form tags. Now what form tags are, essentially it allows me to grab information from this document essentially. So you need to think about what information you want to grab each time this type of document comes into the system going forward. So for the sake of this demo, I'm going to grab the order number. Again, I can kind of relabel the tag if I want. I'll grab the total, the invoice date, and let's also grab the billing address as well. Okay, so form tags make it nice and easy for you to grab, and 9 times out of the 10 iParse will provide what you need in the form tags. However, sometimes depending on the document, it may not recognize, especially on scanned documents, it may not pick up the actual value. So in that scenario, you can use the selection tool here. So let's say there's a value on the document which you think, okay, I need to grab that, but it's not coming to the form tags. What you can do is you can grab the selection tool, and this allows me to select an area of the document where I know a certain value will always be. I click on the plus icon here, and it gives me a few options. The one I'm going to use is a position tag. A cropped image tag is like literally cropping the area that you've selected as an image, but in this demo I'm just going to select it as a position tag. Okay, so once I've grabbed that, I can click save, and let's just simulate iParse again by clicking test document. Okay, so you can see we've got the routing tags. Now we've also grabbed the information that we want through form tags, and also a position tag grabbing the word invoice as we required. Now the next feature is table capture. Now table capture is very important, especially when you're receiving documents, invoices for example, which usually have tables and line items on the actual document, and in this example we've got a few lines, and so I want to capture that. So if I go to table capture, you'll notice on this document there's kind of two tables here. There's one with shipping method, shipping terms, delivery date, and then you've actually got the items. So it's the second table that I want, and I'm going to click on capture table. Now the capture table feature just allows you to select what columns you want to grab every single time this document comes in to iParse. So in this example I'm going to grab everything and click save. Okay, now once you're happy with that, just to finish off the next two tabs, we've got a query feature as well. So you can ask iParse a question, and it will ask that question each time this document comes through. So for example, let's say what is the delivery date? Okay, so we can see the delivery date is the 5th of the 11th 2023. So I'm going to just add that query, and again, if there's any signatures that you want to capture automatically, we can click on detect signature as well. In this demo we don't have a signature on the document, so we'll just leave that blank. So I'll click test document one final time, and here's all the information that we've grabbed off that document. Okay, so we're happy with the results, and that is essentially the first template set up on iParse. Now one final thing, if we scroll down, you'll see in the related list here we've got position tags, form tags, etc. One final thing that I want to show, and there will be a deeper dive into what we call Transformation Designer, is the ability to modify and transform the data before we push it into Salesforce each time we receive the document. So what I mean by that is, you can see here the total. We've got £1,323.38 here. Now let's say, for example, I just want to remove this comma, because that's just how I want the data to kind of sit inside of Salesforce when we extract this and put it into the whatever object we want. Now what we've got is the ability to click on this drop down and go edit transformation. And what Transformation Designer allows you to do is just really format and get your data from the documents formatted in a way that you want before you bring it into Salesforce. So what I can do here is I can click on the play button. This is the input that we're grabbing, and then I can click on the plus sign, and there's a bunch of transformation options I can use to format the data. So for example, let's say I want to remove the comma. Okay, so I can use the remove part option here. Okay, so I can click into that, and the input is the start. I can put what part of the string I want to remove essentially, which is the comma. Okay. Then I click on the stop button, and the input will be the remove part. And then I can just click on debug here just to see what would happen. Okay. So you can see the input was this, and then the output, we've removed the comma from the total. So Transformation Designer is a powerful tool just to format the data from your documents, make sure that they're consistent. You may have an instance where various suppliers, for example, are sending you invoices, but they use different dates formatting, or they use different ways of establishing their order numbers or whatnot, and you want to kind of have some form of consistency on that data. You can use Transformation Designer to do that. So I'm going to go back to Editor, save, and then go back to Parser. Okay, so I'm just going to click Test Document one more time just to show the final output of these tags. And as you can see, we've got everything here that we wish to have. And the final step is to test this now using another document from Polychemtex. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Manual Upload, Upload Files. I'm going to upload a different document. Essentially, I'm simulating receiving a new invoice from Polychemtex. So I'm going to use this upload invoice one. Done. And so what will happen now is, essentially, now you've set up that as a template, you can simply forward all the invoices that you now receive from Polychemtex going forward just straight to iParse. There's two ways that you can do that. You can use an email service address, which again, please do read the documentation on how to set that up. But essentially, you can just forward your documents now to your own iParse service address, or you can upload them like I've just done now manually. So you can see I've uploaded it. We now have the processed document here. We have one page that has been processed. This is the file that I uploaded. So different to the template that we set up, we've just got one line item here, and the total is £500, 600 in total with VAT. And so if we click into this page here, you'll see these are the results essentially. Okay, so you can see here it's grabbed the values that we wanted to grab. You can see the total it's grabbed here, and everything is as expected. We've also got the table cells, so if we just click into view all, you can see here these are all the values from the column. Essentially, this is one row of data. Yeah, and so iParse has done its job. The next step is to decide what you want to do with this information. So there's two things. You can use the mapping feature that comes with iParse. Again, this will be part of the series, of the setup series, or you can use Flow Builder. Flow Builder is a very powerful tool inside of Salesforce which you can use to extract this data, put it into the relevant objects that you want. You can run updates, you can match based on certain lookups, etc. Flow Builder is a great tool, and we'll do another tutorial on that. So I hope that's been helpful. If you've got any questions at all, please reach out to support@iparse.io.